So last Tuesday, I spent 45 minutes standing in front of my closet staring at a pair of metallic silver platform boots that I bought 3 months ago and have never worn. Not even once. And while I'm standing there, I can literally hear two distinct voices in my head having a full-blown argument about these boots. One voice is like, "They're fabulous. They make you feel alive. They're an expression of your creative soul." And the other voice is screaming, "You paid $200 for disco ball feet and you have nowhere to wear them, you absolute walnut." Welcome to my life. I'm Luna, and today we're talking about the Anima and Animus, which is Carl Jung's fancy way of saying we all have a raging internal debate team living rent-free in our heads. One side is all feelings and intuition and let's buy the sparkly thing. And the other side is all logic and planning and we have credit card debt, Karen. And spoiler alert, they both think they're right, they both think the other one is an idiot, and they're both you. Fun times. Let's start with what these things actually are, because Jung loved making up words that sound like pasta dishes. The animus is your inner masculine energy. It's the part of you that wants to make spreadsheets, create 5-year plans, and ask practical questions like, do we actually need 17 throw pillows, or is this getting ridiculous? It's logical, action-oriented, and deeply concerned with whether things make sense. The anima is your inner feminine energy. She's the part that says, but the pillows make me feel cozy, and feelings matter, and also life is short, so let's buy the boots and figure it out later. She's intuitive, emotional, creative, and deeply unconcerned with your budget spreadsheet. Now here's the thing, and this is where it gets messy. We all have both of these energies regardless of gender, and they're supposed to work together like a beautiful, balanced symphony. But instead, in most of us, they act like divorced parents who have to share custody of your life decisions and keep passive-aggressively undermining each other. Let me give you a real example from my week. I'm sitting at my kitchen table, and I can feel this internal argument starting. My animus is like, we need to have a serious conversation about those boots. And my anima immediately gets defensive and goes, "Oh, here we go, another lecture." And then they're off. My logical side starts pulling up bank statements. Look at this, $200 for boots that you've never worn. Do you know what else costs $200? 3 months of grocery budgets, a therapy session, 12 large coffees that would actually bring you joy. And my emotional side fires back with, you know what? I don't see you complaining when we buy boring practical things like, I don't know, insurance or vegetables. But the second I want something that makes me feel like a creative human being with a personality, suddenly we're having a financial crisis intervention. Then my animus goes, that's not fair. I supported your pottery phase. And my anima snaps back. You called it a phase, which proves my point. Do you see what's happening here? This is the same person. This is me arguing with myself about boots like I'm both lawyers in a divorce court. But here's where Jung gets interesting. He said the problem isn't that we have these two sides. The problem is when one side completely dominates and we ignore the other. If your animus runs the whole show, you become this hyper-rational robot who optimizes everything, makes all the practical choices, and then wakes up at 42 wondering why life feels so empty, even though you did everything right on paper. If your anima runs everything, you're following every impulse and feeling, buying all the boots, quitting all the jobs, and then wondering why you're broke and unstable, even though you're so in touch with your authentic self. The goal is integration. Getting these two sides to actually talk to each other instead of just screaming. And let me tell you, that is so much harder than it sounds. Because here's what integration actually looks like in real life. It's not some beautiful moment where your logic and emotions hold hands and sing Kumbaya. It's sitting at your kitchen table with those stupid boots in front of you, and your logical side finally admits, Okay, fine. I can see that expressing yourself creatively is important to your mental health and sense of identity. And your emotional side goes, and I can acknowledge that spending $200 on something I never wear is objectively wasteful, and maybe I need to think before I buy. And then together, they come up with an actual solution. Like, we're going to wear these boots at least once this month, even if it's just to the grocery store, because we bought them and we might as well get some joy out of them. And next time we want something sparkly, we're going to sleep on it for a week first. See? Nobody wins, nobody loses, everyone's mildly annoyed but functional. That's psychological health, baby. But most of us don't do this. Most of us let one side win, then feel guilty, then let the other side win, then feel reckless, and we just ping-pong back and forth like a psychological tennis match. One week, you're all feelings, no plans, just vibes. The next week, you're all discipline, no joy, just optimization. And you wonder why you feel so unstable. It's because you're not integrating. You're just switching which voice gets the microphone. Here's what I've learned. Your animus isn't trying to ruin your fun. It's trying to protect you from future you being stressed and broke. And your anima isn't trying to sabotage your life. She's trying to protect you from becoming a boring shell of a human who forgot how to feel alive. They're both on your team. They're just speaking different languages and nobody taught them how to translate. So here's your homework, and yes, I'm assigning homework because apparently I'm a therapist now. Next time you're making a decision and you feel that internal argument starting, don't just let one side win. Actually have the conversation. Let your logical side present its case, let your emotional side present its case, and then see if you can find a solution that honors both. Maybe you don't buy the boots right now, but you put them on a wish list and promise yourself you'll get them when you've saved up extra money. Maybe you buy the boots, but you commit to wearing them at least 5 times to make them worth it. Maybe you realize you don't actually want the boots, you just want to feel creative and alive, and there are cheaper ways to do that. The point is, when animus and anima actually work together instead of fighting for control, you make better decisions. Decisions that are both smart and meaningful, both practical and alive, both responsible and joyful. And yeah, sometimes you still buy ridiculous things you regret, but at least you did it consciously instead of being hijacked by whichever voice screamed the loudest. So if you're tired of feeling like your brain is a constant argument between your heart and your head, subscribe, because next week we're talking about the persona, aka the 17 different masks we wear depending on who we're talking to, and why that's exhausting, but also kind of necessary. See you then. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a date with some silver platform boots and a grocery store. My anima won this round.